Hello and welcome back to Live Debt Free. Today's session number 6. And today I'd like to discuss how to live under your means. So I'd like to discuss this in 3 parts. Firstly, what do I mean by living under your means? Secondly, why I think you should live under your means. And thirdly, some practical applications as to how we can start living under our means. Let's jump in then. What is living under your means or below your means? It simply is living underneath your total revenue. So your expenses should be way less than what you actually earn. Very simply put. Now I know the world actually tells us to live within our means, and let's face it, a lot of us even fail to meet that mark. What we, however, recommend to live healthily in terms of finances is to live way below what your total monthly income actually is. Why we recommend this? Well, it gives you that extra surplus cash, that extra bit of money for which you can actually save towards long-term goals, save towards an emergency fund, and it allows you, of course, to give a little more as well. It also provides a good buffer between you and life. Now, as we all know, life happens. Emergencies come up, things break, we've got to fly, we've got to see people, and all sorts of things just happen. When you put a good cushioning between you and life, you'll always be prepared for the unexpected. And in this way, you can always and continue living the lifestyle that you are currently living without being affected that much. So what are some of the key points to look out for in order to try and implement living under your means? Very simply put, firstly, look at the lifestyle you can actually afford. How do you start by doing that? Do a good list of what your actual needs are compared to your wants. 2 very different things. Needs are basic necessities which you and your family require to live. And when you list them, you've got to look at, are we living above what we can actually afford? Or are we living according to our income and our salary as to what we can actually afford? And when you compare your needs to what you actually want, a want can then also be defined as a goal, which you can then eventually save towards achieving those goals and wants. So firstly, list your needs, assess whether you can afford those needs, and secondly, list your wants, and then put down how you're going to go about achieving those goals. Secondly is, and we all may have been guilty of this, is to drop the comparison game. The minute we stop comparing ourselves to Mr. Jones over there and what Mrs. Jones is wearing and what handbag she has, what car he's got, what house they live in the area, the minute we stop comparing ourselves to other people, we can actually live the life and be happy with the life that we called to live and can afford to live. Thirdly, which ties into the second one, is just being content with what you have and what you've been given. We all have different salaries, we all have different job titles, we all have different things. Being happy with what you have currently, being content with what you have, will prevent you from wanting things you cannot afford. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't have goals, don't have dreams, but be happy with the car, and I keep mentioning cars because I'm a guy, but be happy with the car that you are driving now and that you can afford to drive. This will prevent you from wanting and going out and buying a car that you cannot afford. So when you are happy with what you have and content with what you have, and you know that one day you can achieve your dreams by making changes and saving to get there. You will live a much healthier life, and you will actually then live under or below your means. So I hope that's been helpful, guys. It's been a brief, short one today, but to the point. I hope there are some take-homes there. Do like, share and subscribe if you guys do feel so. Also follow us on our social media pages. If you have any questions or want to discuss anything else, drop me a line at julian@livedebtfree.me. And be sure not to miss our next episode. My wife and I will actually be discussing what to do in case of a job loss. So very interesting topic, especially for the times that we're living in. So I hope that's been helpful. Thanks again for watching. See you guys next time.